What's going on? This is Babazir here, and today I got a Sandocious minion build for ya that was inspired by a little flick called Suicide Squad.
You have used that adjective before. Sandocious. What does it mean?
It's when you have sand in your eyes, but you're willing to go the distance. You know, persevere.
I thought that was just having grit.
Oh, I like grits, yeah.
I don't even...
Anyways, I'll go over the build in more detail and how it differs from everyday minion builds in a few minutes, but I'll give you a small taste. My minions don't do damage with their hands or knees. I really wanted to focus on them exploding and doing the damage via minion instability and Infernal Legion. So I focused on feeding them as much rare candy and as many HP ups as possible. So when they inevitably explode, they will do mucho damage. But let me talk about why the movie inspired me to make this build in the first place. I mean, it does have an all-star cast. Margot Robbie, John Cena, Idris Elba, Bruce Campbell, and others. If you haven't seen it, it's a cult classic. It starts off with our protagonist Ash working a 9-to-5 job at a small family shop. If you have to shop smart, shop S-smart.
Wait, Papa Z.
When one day he visits his cabin in the mountains and suddenly gets sucked into a black vortex and is transported back in time to the year 1300 AD.
That's not Suicide Squad.
There, he gets captured by a bunch of Neanderthals, and after shooting some zombies with shotgun, he is subsequently heralded as a hero.
That's Army of Darkness.
Quiet, Billy. Let me tell the story. Ash is then sent to retrieve an old library book, and upon successfully doing so, and without any issues whatsoever, might I add, he returns to the castle where he has to fight his nemesis and a bunch of skeletons and zombies, like 13 of them or so. And that about sums up the movie. So, how is this build connected, you ask? Just like Ash's chainsaw arm, in hand-to-hand combat, none is a match for our stone golems, except instead of doing damage with their hands, feet, or lumbar support, they do it in the form of exploding their bodies, causing tiny rocks to be wedged in our enemy's larynx, causing a slow but potent death. When it comes to the legendary boomstick, I could think of no better way to replicate it but with raging spears exploding and causing their tiny bones to become shrapnel, which then gets lodged in our enemy's esophagus, causing them to slowly suffocate. And lastly, when it comes to my zombies, well, just like in the movie, they literally don't do anything. So I too ensured they just stood there, looked pretty, and were unable to do much.
You mean they don't explode and do some sort of trachea damage?
Nope, I mean they could, but they are sitting at 170,000 life and don't have the Infernal Legion support gem attached to them. I wasn't about to recast them over and over.
So why even have them?
I just had 3 seconds to spare. So yeah, I do have 4 Hulking Corpses cluster nodes, which gives them something like 20% chance to taunt our enemies. So they do take a bit of heat off of me. So I guess technically they do have a small purpose. Alright, let's break this mother down. My wand is pretty lackluster. Has +1 to all spells, and a bit of minion damage and life with +1 to max Golem's Crucible node. Helm has a bit of minion life and +2 to all minion skills gems. Yes. My shield has minion life damage and +1 to minion skill gems. All 3 directly help my beautiful golems and summon raging spirits. I'm once again using this amazing chest piece, and because of it, I'm able to get my raging spirits to level 33, stone golems to level 30, and Infernal Legion to level 27. Infernal Legion does not stack, but I wanted to spread it everywhere as fast as I could. And even though the biggest DPS by far is the stone golems with their 430k life exploding, the SRSs provide a nice supplemental damage and help with clear. I even have Tavukai Amulet, which makes the life spam of these buggers even shorter. And when they all explode, thanks to the minion instability, they leave a nice burning ground on death due to this beautiful belt. On my gloves I have some dex and I added fire exposure. That's why I have Armageddon Brand to safely apply a hit from a distance, as well as having my cast 1 damage setup be Arc and Frost Wall for protection and fire exposure application. My rings have minion life, damage, and resistances, though the resistances are wasted. Initially I was going to use the Formless Inferno, but then I found out it doesn't work, or doesn't display properly, or I don't know what's going on with this helm, but maybe someone smarter than me can comment on this enigmatic helm. And lastly, I have Corpse Walker boots because I'm lazy and I didn't want to self-cast another spell like Desecrate, even though I self-cast a lot on this build. And that's because of the Plague Bringer. I wanted it up 100% of the time so my minions get that 10% more damage. That is also why I have so much increased minion damage. Not to boost their hand-to-hand combat ability, but minion instability, explosion, and Infernal Legion dot damage. If you do try this build, let me know. It's a lot of fun. You might want to recast 1 or 2 stone golems in every map just to stagger their death just a little bit, so they don't all pop at once. Lastly, the reason why I chose stone golems is because not only do they run to their enemies and want to hug them with their stone bodies, but also because they have the most life out of all of them. Even a flame golem at level 33 wouldn't have as much life as the stone golem, so that's why I use them instead. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with another beautiful build.